So I would say right now we aren't at the place of social justice yet, but we are looking at one, the focus on logistics and last mile. And in some ways, we do look at our technology as being able to definitely work here in the U.S. and then finding ways and how the problem differs when you're in different contexts and different regions of the world. And so you do have to think about different accesses to data and network connectivity and things like that. And so within that is something that's exciting because we do have a lot of different backgrounds and from different places in the world. And so we are looking and thinking about how our technology will scale and we'll be able to go into those contexts. But in some ways we have had to focus now more on the United States just in the initial phases, just as we are building and getting building our reputation within the industry so that when we go, it's much easier. Because we did actually start off initially working in those regions. And there was a little bit of pushback just because people wanted to see something that was already working in another region, another country. And so within that, we have done some work here, and we are pretty excited about that day when we can go to Latin America, parts of the Middle East, Africa, and stuff as well. So we have actually worked with companies of all shapes and sizes. We actually have done some work with multiple global 500 companies, so we're pretty excited about some of those, and they've had a great willingness to try out our technology. And so with some, we do proof of concepts. We'll use some of their historical data and be able to show an analysis of how our system would run in scenarios. And for others, we've done deployments, and we're working on expanding those as well. And so when we do a deployment, often, so we have a driver smartphone application for the drivers. We also have an application for the dispatchers, and so they can see, the dispatcher can see what's going on and be able to get access to all this data that we collect and reporting and analytics. And the driver, he gets a schedule on his phone that constantly updates throughout the day. And so we'll go and they'll download the application, and then they can get to try out the technology, and they'll bake it into some of their core processes. So we'll go to a new site where they have 50 vehicles on the ground, and so we'll give them our technology, and it's a part of their everyday workflow. It's like they're gonna send the stuff over to Wise, and then we will optimize and help make adjustments on the fly. But one of the things that we have spent a lot of time thinking about, and so in some ways we did see it coming, but we just didn't understand the extent, was just being able to create an application that drivers and enjoy using. And so when we first built our application, we had some thought of how they would probably use it and what was best for them and what they would enjoy. And then we actually had a couple of our co-founders ride in trucks with these guys and see as they're like, oh, this is great, but I hate this. We were like, why did we ever even do that? And so being able to get that feedback directly from the drivers was incredible, and it helped us iterate on our product. And so as we do changes and updates, we love to get out there with the drivers and see how they're using it and see if it makes sense. And because being able to get their buy-in is huge, and something that we do focus on a lot in our company. One of the things that I would say that we just had to adjust to with being a startup, and honestly coming from MIT, is just one of the challenges is just the pace of working with large corporate companies. And so it's just timelines are a little different. You might have a good meeting and something, it's okay, I'm going to do everything tomorrow and we're going to be ready to go, but there's just a process of approvals and being able to talk to the right people, and again get the right people on board and get the right systems and everything in place in order to move and navigate an organization. And so that's something we've learned a lot about, and definitely has come into play. And so it's not really a bad thing. It's just they have systems in place, and so they're we're dealing with a company of 10 people, and they're dealing with thousands of people, right? And so being able to, they can't just jump every time something new and flashy comes in. And so it's just being able to understand that there are things that need to happen, there are approvals that you have to go through, and so being able to work through and navigate that process and then start to line up the two timelines is something that we spend a lot of time working about and thinking about, and how do we do that well.